question 16 reads, Ryan has 1,500 yards of yarn. He wants to knit at least 2 scarves and at least 3 hats. Each scarf requires 300 yards of yarn, and each hat requires 120 yards of yarn. If S represents the number of scarves and H represents the number of hats, which of the following system of inequalities represent this situation? Well, let's try to decipher this information right here. Right here, from this last sentence. If S represents the number of scarves, well, if S it represents the number of scarves, that number has to be greater than 2, greater than or equal to 2, because it says at the beginning at least 2 scarves. And we can do the same for H. If H is the number of hats, that number has to be greater than 3, because it says at the beginning he wants at least 3 hats. Okay, and so we can cancel out answer choices that don't match up with this. A is correct in terms of this, B is good as well. C does not match up with that. Okay, so we got one answer choice out. Now, let's try to figure out the other equation here. Ryan has a total of 1,500 yards of yarn. Okay, so he has 1,500, and I'm assuming we can't go beyond anything. He can't use anything beyond that. So that has to be the maximum, right? Anything beyond isn't possible, and therefore I use this symbol. Each scarf requires 300 yards of yarn, so 300s plus 120 for a hat, right? This number right here, 300s, is the amount of yarn used for all scarves. Or I'll just say yarn for scarves. And this number right here is the yarn for hats. And therefore, this total thing is 300s plus 120h is the total yarn used for hats and scarves, right? Hats and scarves. And so that number must be less than or equal to 1,500. And so these are our 3 inequalities, and the only answer choice that has them all correctly written down is D.